Hello and welcome back to the course of Basic Electrical Engineering. In this video lecture, I am going to continue with the Unit 3, that is Transformer. The topics that I am going to discuss in this video lecture are different kind of losses in transformer, certain terms related to the transformer, that is efficiency, voltage regulation, then auto transformer, and finally three-phase transformer. In the previous video lectures of the transformer, I have discussed about the ideal and practical transformer, EMF equation of the transformer, its construction. So let us start this lecture first with the losses in the transformer. So we have already discussed that there are two types of basically losses in the transformer. The losses in the transformer are classified into the two parts, that is iron losses and copper losses. We have already discussed these two losses in the previous video lecture. Now iron losses, as you know, are further classified into two parts, that is hysteresis loss and eddy current loss. So let us start with the hysteresis loss first. Now we have already studied about the magnetic curve, BH curve, that is magnetization curve, and that loop is nothing but the hysteresis curve, and because of the magnetization of the material, there is losses taking place in the material. So that loss is nothing but the hysteresis loss. Now, as we know, due to alternating flux set up in the magnetic core, it undergoes the cycle of magnetization and demagnetization. We have already studied this in the previous video lecture, that if we increase B and H, then there is a cycle of magnetization. So material goes first in one particular direction, maximum flux density will be in one particular direction first, and then it will be in other direction. So because of the reversal of the magnetic line of force in either direction, energy is dissipated within the material and power loss takes place in the material, and that power loss is nothing but the hysteresis loss. So as I told you, due to hysteresis effect, there is some losses taking place, energy is dissipated in this process. That loss is nothing but the hysteresis loss. Now hysteresis loss is given by equation WH is equal to KH B max raised to 1.6 into F into V watt. Now here KH is constant, that depends on the material, that is a hysteresis constant, that depends on the type of material. B max is a maximum flux density, F is a supply frequency, and V is a volt. So here we can see WH, that is a hysteresis loss, depends on the voltage, because frequency, B max and KH are the constant. Another material like silicon steel is preferred for the construction of the core, because silicon material is having less hysteresis area, hysteresis loop area. I have already told in the previous lecture that hysteresis loss depends on the area of the loop, volume of the material, and frequency of magnetization. Next one is the eddy current loss. Now the induce, as we apply the alternating current, EMF gets induced in the coil. So because of the induced EMF, core tries to set up some current which is known as the eddy current that flows on the surface of the core, and this, because of the EMF induced, circulating currents are generated on the surface of the core. That current are known as the eddy current, and because of the eddy current, I square losses are taking place in the core, and that is nothing but the eddy current loss. It is given by mathematical expression. It can be represented by WE is equal to P into beta max square into F square into T square watt, where P is a constant, beta max is a maximum flux density, and F is a frequency of the input voltage. So these are the two losses which are known as iron losses. So basically hysteresis loss is due to magnetization and demagnetization cycle, and eddy current loss is because of the induced EMF in the coil will try to generate some current, that is nothing but the eddy currents, and because of the eddy current losses are taking place in the core. Next one is a copper loss. So in the case of ideal transformer, we assume that both winding as having zero resistance, but it is not always case. In practical transformer, winding has certain resistance, and because of this winding resistance, losses are taking place due to ohmic resistance of the transformer winding, and these losses are nothing but the copper losses. Copper loss depends on the magnitude of the current flowing through the winding, primary winding and secondary winding, as well as winding resistances. So total copper loss is given by I1 square R1 and I2 square R2. That is I1 square R1 plus I2 square R2. So I1 square R1 is the copper loss taking place in primary winding, and I2 square R2 is the copper loss taking in secondary winding. And summation of these copper losses is a total copper loss. Now as copper loss depends on the current and current depends on the load. So copper loss is known as a copper loss varies with the load, because if load varies, current I2 varies, the total copper loss varies. So it is known as a variable loss. And eddy current and hysteresis loss and eddy current losses are the fixed losses. So total loss of the material is iron losses plus copper losses. Now moving towards the equation of the transformer efficiency. Now what is efficiency? Generally efficiency of transformer is defined as the output power to the input power. It is a ratio of output power to the input power. So we can write eta is equal to output power divided by input power into 100. Now we know output power is what input power minus losses, because some losses are taking place in actual transformer. So output power, input power minus losses is nothing but the output power. So we can write another equation of efficiency, that is input power minus total losses divided by input power into 100. But we can also write input power is equal to output power plus total losses, because output power is input power minus losses. So this is a third expression of efficiency, that is output power divided by output power plus total losses into 100. Efficiency of the transformer is maximum when copper loss becomes equal to the iron loss. Now moving towards the voltage regulation. So it is defined as a change in secondary terminal voltage from no load to the full load with the primary source voltage V1 and temperature of the transformer remains constant. So as load is connected across the secondary, then there will be change in the terminal voltage, that is V2 will not be equal to E2. In the case of no load condition and load condition, full load condition, value of V2 is changing. So that is nothing but the regulation. So voltage regulation is defined is given in terms of mathematical expression, that is no load voltage minus full load voltage. That is a change in voltage from no load voltage to the full load voltage. So is voltage regulation is equal to no load voltage minus full load voltage divided by no load voltage. So this is an expression of voltage regulation. Now another thing, why transformer rating is always given in terms of kVA. Now we know copper loss depends on what? It depends on current, and iron loss depends on volt, because in the expression of hysteresis loss we see that WH depends on V. So ultimately total loss is taking place in the transformer depends on volt ampere. It does not depend on power factor, that is the angle between voltage and current. It is totally independent of the load power factor, and that is the reason always transformer rating are given in terms of kVA, not in kW, that is kilowatt. It is always given in terms of kilovolt ampere. Now moving towards the next theory, that is the auto transformer. It is a special type of transformer which is designed in which part of winding is common for both primary and secondary. The function of auto transformer is similar to the two windings ordinary transformer, but here only there is one winding is there, and some part of winding is common for primary and secondary. So here you can say one circular core is there, and around that circular core one coil is wound. This is a phase and neutral terminal. This is supply voltage V1. This is a neutral terminal which is common between input and output is taken over here. So basically construction, if we see the construction of auto transformer, it consists of one winding wound on the laminated core. Here circular core is there, a rotary movable contact is there. This contact you can see here, which can be moved, and based on the movement of the rotary contact, output voltage can be varied. So in the auto transformer we can vary the output voltage, which is not possible in the case of ordinary two winding transformer, in which the output voltage is fixed. Now in the case of auto transformer, here you can see only one winding is there, and some part of the winding will work as either primary or secondary. So here primary and secondary are not isolated from each other, as in the case of two winding transformer. So there may be a chance of fault. Whenever one winding get damaged, the transformer will not work. So this is one of the limitation of auto transformer, as there is no electrical isolation between primary and secondary. Both, if one winding gets damaged, it can affect the other winding also. Now this transformer in which we can vary the output voltage, so auto transformer can be of step up down type or step down type, and as it is uses only one winding, it has a less copper, so it is a cheaper as compared to the ordinary two winding transformer. Now there is a limitation of the auto transformer, that it can be used when it can be effective when transformation ratio K differs little from the unity. we know K is equal to N2 by N1. So if N2 and N1 are approximately equal, then and then auto transformer will give better result as compared to the two winding transformer. Now moving towards application of auto transformer is a step down transformer. So here you can see only one winding is that is denoted by AB. Now tapping is done in the AB. So here we are having a two section of the winding, AC section and DC section, and third section is a AB section. Now input is given across the whole winding. So that's why this term, this is nothing but the primary winding. AB becomes the primary winding over here, and output is connected between CB section. So this becomes the secondary winding. So here AB is a primary winding and CB section is a secondary winding. Now here you can see N1, N2 is less than N1 because N2 is having less number of turns. So this will work as a step down transformer. Number of turns for AB is N1. Number of turn for CB section is N2. Then number of turn for AC section will be N1 minus N2. Current flowing through input is I1. Current flowing through load is I2. So current flowing through CB section will be I2 minus I1. Why it will be I2 minus I1? Because here I2 will be greater than I1. So it will be difference of I2 minus I1. If we apply KVL over here, we will be getting I1 plus I2 minus I1 is equal to I2. So as I told you here, AB act as a primary winding and CB act as a secondary winding. Load is connected across the CB winding. Now if we neglect the losses, magnetization current, then transformation ratio for this particular auto transformer circuit is given by K is equal to E2 by E1 is equal to V2 by V1 is equal to N2 by N1. Here we have assumed that no losses are taking place, no magnetization current is there. If we are neglecting all these parameters, then and then we are getting this kind of transformation ratio. So now this only one winding is there, and this circuit is working as a step down auto transformer, as a step down transformer. Now moving towards next one, application of auto transformer as step up transformer. So here again one winding is there, you can see AB. Now tapping is done over here, so this is CB section. Now input is given across the CB section and load is connected across AB section. So here CB will work as a primary winding and AB is working as a secondary winding. Suppose see, number of turns in the CB section is N1, number of turn in the AB section is N2, then number of turn in AC section will be N2 minus N1. Load is connected between AB, and if we neglect the losses, magnetization current, then transformation ratio is given by again K is equal to E2 by E1 is equal to V2 by V1 is equal to N2 by N1. So thus auto transformer can work as a step up transformer, step down transformer, that depends on the tapping of the winding, from where you have tapped the winding. And as we see the construction of auto transformer, it consists of circular core and one rotary movable contact is there. Based on the position of the contact, output voltage can be varied. Now as auto transformer consists of only one winding, there will be a copper saving in auto transformer as compared to the ordinary two winding transformer, and if copper is saved, then ultimately cost of the transformer can be reduced. So let us understand the copper saving in auto transformer. So here again step down auto transformer is taken. AB will work as the primary winding because input voltage is given across AB. Load is connected across CB section, so CB will work as a secondary winding. Number of turns for primary winding is N1. Number of turns for CB section is N2. So number of turns for AC section will be N1 minus N2. Current flowing over here is I1. Current flowing through load is I2, and current flowing through CB section is I2 minus I1. Now, volume and the weight of the copper is proportional to the length and area of the cross section of the conductor. So volume is basically proportional to the area and length of the conductor. Now, length of the conductor is directly proportional to the number of turns, because as number of turns of the conductor increases, then length also increases. Cross section area depends on the current. If cross sectional area is reduced, then resistance increases. Then resistance increases, current decreases. If cross sectional area is increased, resistance decreases, current increases. So ultimately cross sectional area depends on the current. So we can write A is proportional to I. So we can write weight or volume is proportional to the Ni. So weight is proportional to the product of current and number of turns. So we can write weight is proportional to Ni. Now weight of copper in AC section will be what? So it will be product of N and I. So in AC section, number of turn is N1 minus N2 and current flowing through AC section is I1. So weight of copper in AC section will be N1 minus N2 into I1. Now in the case of BC section, CB section, number of turns is N2 and current flowing is I2 minus I1. So here, now weight of the copper in BC section will be N2 into I2 minus I1 because weight ultimately depends on number of turns and current flowing through the winding. So total weight of the copper in auto transformer is given by N1 minus N2 I1 plus N2 I2 minus I1. Now if we use two winding transformer, then weight of the copper will be for primary winding will be N1 I1 and weight of the copper for secondary winding will be N2 I2. So total weight of the copper in ordinary transformer, two winding transformer will be equal to or proportional to N1 I1 plus N2 I2. Now if you take the ratio of that, so that is total weight of the copper in auto transformer and total weight of the copper in ordinary transformer, then we are getting this equation, that is N1 minus N2 I1 plus N2 I2 minus I1. That is a weight of total weight of the copper in auto transformer, and N1 I1 plus N2 I2 is the total weight of the copper in ordinary transformer. If we solve this expression, we are getting 1 minus 2 N2 I1 divided by N1 I1 plus N2 I2. Now if second term is divided by N1 I1 in numerator and denominator, then we are getting 1 minus 2 N2 by N1 divided by 1 plus N2 by N1 into I2 by I1. Now N2 by N1 is K and I2 by I1 is equal to 1 upon K because V1 I1 is equal to V2 I2. So we can get V2 by V1 is equal to I1 by I2 is equal to K. So I2 by I1 is equal to 1 by K. Now if we put this value in this expression, we are getting 1 minus 2K divided by 2. So 1 minus K, that is a ratio of total weight in auto transformer and to the total weight of copper in ordinary transformer. So total weight of the copper in auto transformer is equal to 1 minus K multiplied by total weight of the copper in the ordinary two winding transformer. Now what is the saving, total saving in the copper? So we all know in ordinary two winding transformer, more copper is required. So total saving will be weight of copper in ordinary transformer minus weight of copper in auto transformer. Now putting the value of weight of copper in auto transformer in terms of ordinary transformer. So that is W0 minus 1 minus KW0 that we have already derived. So finally saving is equal to KW0, where W0 is the weight of copper in ordinary winding transformer. So saving is equal to, copper saving is equal to K into the weight of copper in ordinary transformer. So saving will increase as K approaches to the unity. If the value of K will be in between, if the value of K will be 0.1, 0.2, so saving percentage will be less. So the copper saving will be more in auto transformer if the transformation ratio is nearer to unity. That is the conclusion from this expression. Now moving towards the application of the auto transformer. So basically it is used for starting the induction motor. It is used to give a 50 to 60% full load voltage. It is also used in furnace to give the convenient supply. As an interconnecting transformer is used in 132 kV to 330 kV system, and in locomotives it is also used. So these are the application of auto transformer. Advantages of auto transformer. So basically, as less copper is required, cost of the transformer can be reduced, weight of the transformer is also reduced, losses are minimized. One of the disadvantages of auto transformer is that as there is no electrical isolation between in primary and secondary winding, if one winding get damaged, then load may get damaged also. Now moving towards another theory, that is a three-phase transformer. So why three-phase transformers are required? Electric power is always generated in three-phase because three-phase generation is having advantages over single-phase generation. Cost can be minimized, losses can be minimized. Three-phase system give more output as compared to the single-phase system. Efficiency of three-phase system is very high. So that's why electric power is generated in form of three-phase at higher voltage like 132 kilovolt, 22 kilovolt. Power is also generated at voltage like 11 kilovolt, 400 kilovolt. Now, to step up the generated voltage for transmission, it is necessary to have three-phase transformer, and similarly at the distribution time, three-phase transformer is also required. Now, three-phase transformer can be in form of single phase, single unit, and three single-phase transformer can be used to design the three-phase transformer. Now, years ago, it was a common practice to use interconnected three single-phase transformer to design a three-phase transformer instead of single three-phase transformer. But nowadays, the latter is gaining popularity because of improvement in design and manufacture. Three single-phase transformers can be also used. It depends on the application. Suppose the mines application is there where transportation is difficult. So in that case, three single-phase units are used to design the single three-phase transformer. Now, as compared to the bank of single-phase transformer, which are the advantages of three-phase single unit three-phase transformer? So advantages are that it occupies less floor space for equal rating. So if we are designing the equal rating transformer, then less space is required. In case of single unit three-phase transformer, it weights are less, it cost is also less. Cost 50% cost can be minimized if we use single unit three-phase transformer. So handling is also easy, maintenance is also reduced. Now moving towards the construction of the three-phase transformer. So here you can see one three-phase single unit three-phase transformer is there, and this is an internal circuit. Now it consists of three-phase transformer can be also of core type and shell type. And here for simplicity only primary winding is shown, which is connected in star, and this star connection is given three-phase supply. This is an internal circuit of the transformer. Now across this three-phase supply, across this three-phase winding, three-phase supply is given, and we know in three-phase supply all the currents are 120-degree apart. Here core are also 120-degree apart, and this is a common leg which is an empty leg which does not consist of any winding, which is common for all this magnetic circuit. Now the central leg formed by these three carries the flux produced by three currents, that is IR, IY and IB. Now IR, IY and IB are 120-degree apart, so phasor sum of that will be 0. So flux produced on the central leg, on the common leg, will be also 0. So if we remove the common leg, it will make no difference on the performance of the function of the three-phase transformer. The winding of the three-phase transformer, that is primary and secondary, can be connected either in star or delta. So there are four possibilities that star and delta is connected. Primary and secondary is connected if neutral is grounded. It can be connected in YY type, that is a star, primary connected in star, secondary also connected in star. Primary connected in star, secondary connected in delta. Primary connected in delta, secondary connected in star, and both connected in delta. So here you can see this is a single unit of three-phase transformer, and this is a bank of three single-phase transformer. Here you can say NP1, NP2 and NP3 are the primary winding which may be in star or delta connected. NS1, NS2 and NS3 are the secondary winding which may be also in star or delta connected. So all the limbs of the three-phase transformer consist of primary as well as secondary. Now here three single-phase transformers are individually used, and here primaries are connected on one limb and secondaries are connected on other limbs or other leg. Now these primary and secondaries are connected in star or delta, so we will be having four possible connection. Now where this kind of bank of three single phase transformers are used, where transportation is not easy, like a mines application, and in that particular application we can use bank of three single phase transformer. But advantages of a single three phase transformer is more as compared to the bank of single phase transformer. That's why single three phase transformer is preferred over bank of single phase transformer. So this is all about the today's video lecture. In this video lecture, I have discussed about the auto transformer, three phase transformer, and certain terms related to the transformer, certain definition related to the transformer, and also discuss the losses. Hope you have enjoyed the video. See you in the next video of the transformer. Thank you for watching.